welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a video about the 7 things I don't like about my BMW.
I regret the decision very much. This car is awesome. It's terrible. I don't recommend this to anybody.
Before I even jump into today's video, I did just buy a new intake and I bought wheel spacers. So those will be installed in videos coming soon. It just depends on when they get here and what's going on with the holidays. I am hopefully going home to Ohio to go see my family. So I may do it while I'm there, or I may do it when I get back. But those will be installed. There will be a video on what I ran into, if I have any issues with it, or how easy it was. I'm by no means a mechanic, but I'm going to try to do it myself to save a little bit of money. I think the wheel spacers are going to give me that little bit wider look that I'm looking for, and the intake's going to bring out some of the flutter and the turbo, as well as when I do get the car tuned, it should be able to give me a couple more horsepower. The first thing I don't like is kind of specific to my car, and I didn't really think about it because pretty much every car I've had before this has had one. But my 435 did not come with a backup camera. It was just something I kind of assumed that the car would have. So if you were looking at purchasing, and whether it's a 335, 435, I don't know, it's 2015 was when this car was made. I mean, you can go buy a Toyota that's like from 2013 and up, and pretty much every single car has a backup camera. So that was one thing that was kind of frustrating. I just assumed it had it. I know they spec them out, but they must be living by like Charmin rules where less is more or something, I don't know. But that was irritating. I didn't really figure it out until like 15-20 minutes after I'd left the dealership, and I was trying to back into a parking spot and the car didn't have a backup camera. Although the car doesn't have a backup camera, it does have a pretty cool feature that if you own a BMW, you probably know about. But right over here, if you put this mirror selector to the left, when you put your car in reverse, your passenger side mirror will drop down. So it does give you some more visibility in the back, but it's still kind of irritating the fact that my car did not come with a backup camera. Thing number 2 that I do not like about my BMW is the door hinge points. I love the long door look on the coupe. I would not want to change that, but it is frustrating when you get in a busy parking lot and you're trying to get out of the car. Let me show you. The doors open either too little or too much, to where you're either hitting the car or you're having to kind of squeeze your way to get out of the vehicle. Let me give you an example. If I'm trying to get out, I have to get out this way and then shut the door. Point 1 is just barely about to cross the line. Point 2, you're well in where another car would be parked. So it's really irritating if you're trying to get out of your car in a busy parking lot. You're gonna end up hitting other cars. So that's kind of one thing that I've learned after owning the car that's a little irritating. I usually park away from everybody anyway, but when you are in a spot, or if you're going to a store where you need to park in a busy parking lot, I always find myself having to kind of shimmy out of my door. Thing number 3. Now this one's kind of specific to this car because it's a manual transmission. So if anybody really wants to have the manual transmission, you might run into the same issue that I have. The cup holders are right in front of the shifter, and in an automatic, you're not gonna have any issues. Obviously, you put it in drive, you leave it, you put it in sport mode, it's to the left. You know, you're bumping it forward and backward. You're not really having a lot of movement down in the center console. If you have anything in your cup holders in the front that's bigger than just like a soda can or a bottle of water, you're constantly, from 1st to 3rd and 5th gear, your hand is like punching whatever's in your cup holders. So this isn't too bad, but you can see what I'm talking about. I mean, if you end up having anything bigger than basically that, you're constantly hitting whatever's in your cup holder. That's just one thing that I've noticed that I've ran into a few times that kind of irritates me. Thing number 4, there is no good place to put your sunglasses. There's some places that kind of work, but there's really no good place to put your sunglasses. You don't have a sunglass holder anywhere up here. You can kind of tuck them back in this little cubby, but then they're getting scratched up. I buy like cheap dollar store sunglasses, but if you have nice sunglasses, they're gonna get all scratched up. Obviously you can leave them in your cup holder, but then they're taking up space in your cup holder. You do have this little driver's side pocket that you can fit them in, but I end up using that for my wallet or for my phone or something else, so I don't really have a place to put my sunglasses. And then you can also put them inside here, now you got to always open that up, which it's actually a weird angle. If I need to get in there, I have to open it up and kind of shimmy into the center console, and then I'll be able to get whatever I need to get out of it. So that's one thing that you don't really appreciate until you have it, and then when you don't have it, it kind of sucks. Thing number 5, there's really no good place to put your phone. I have an iPhone 11 Max, so it's a little bit bigger than the normal iPhones, but let me show you what I'm talking about. So you could put it in your cup holders. I don't have a case on my phone, so it does fit, but it doesn't go all the way in. And the thing that's irritating about this is if you're driving and you end up like getting into the throttle, what happens is the thing falls forward, and I've had this happen multiple times with my car being a manual. I'll go to shift and I'll smash into my phone and I'll miss shift, or I don't know, it's just unsafe. I can lay it sideways, which does work. Actually, that's usually where my phone sits. But the thing that's really irritating about this is now you can't use your cup holders. It takes up both cup holders and it does flip around. I know they do make a kit where this piece in the back here comes out and you can have a wireless phone charging system. I think it's actually a good deal. I think it's under $100 and it's not too hard to install, but you can buy a kit for your phone that could solve my issue here. You also can stick your phone inside this little cubby hole that's on the driver's side, but what's really irritating about this is anytime that I need to use my phone, you have to open it and take it out. And a lot of times I have my phone Bluetooth, so if I want to listen to music or if I want to change my song, I have this little circle knob here in the middle on the center console that allows me to do a lot of that stuff, but the functionality on this knob is not the same on my phone, so it makes it pretty difficult to do some things if I want to replay a song or go in and change a station. You could stick your phone inside your center console here. It would fit, and this does close. But again, you run into the same issue. I just kind of wish they had like a little pocket or some spot on the center console that you could set your phone. Most cars that I've had before this car have had something like that where it's really convenient. It almost is like made for your phone. Okay, thing number 6. This is one thing that, again, it was kind of like the backup camera. I really didn't think about it until after I had bought the car. I just kind of assumed that it would have it. So this car was $55,000 new. Now, obviously, I did not spend that much money on it. I bought it for $25,500. Again, it didn't have a backup camera, which was kind of irritating. And for a $55,000 car, you would think that it would come with a backup camera. Well, this is another thing that was just like that. This car does not have lumbar support. These seats are awesome. They're very comfortable, and it has these adjustable bolsters that squeeze you tighter, and you can, I mean, that's actually wicked cool. So if you want to corner hard or go drive the car hard, you really feel like you're in a sports car. But the car doesn't have lumbar support. You can move the seat like every which way, but it doesn't have lumbar support. And I'm the kind of person that likes that thing sticking all the way out in my back, so I sit up straight. That way when I get out of the car, I don't feel like I've been hunched over all day. So I was pretty irritated that the car did not come with lumbar support. Again, that's specific to my model. I know these cars can be bought spec'd out with everything. I don't have a lot of those extra features, mainly because I thought BMWs would just come with them. I've had a few Audis in the past, and every single one has come with stuff like that. So I was kind of surprised, being my first BMW, that it didn't have those features. Last but not least, if you want to put the seats down, you have the availability to do so. In the trunk, you've got these little buttons that you can pull, and the left and right seat, they each have their individual switch. What's kind of irritating is if you're trying to load something into your car, you have this middle seat, and you can only unlock the middle seat from inside the car, but you can't unlock the 2 side seats. If you want to lay down both of these seats, you have to crawl inside here because there's no switches for the sides. You have to pull this lever here, which will unlock the middle seat. It just seems like a hassle. Most cars, they've got tabs or something you can pull up top, and then you can take the seat out, or you can do everything from the back here. They've got, the middle seat here and then the other one on the side. So that's one thing that's just kind of ridiculous. It's just time consuming. There is a lot of space in the car once you do lay the seats down. When I drove from North Idaho to Ohio and then Ohio back to Georgia, I was able to fit everything I needed to put in the car with those seats down. But that's just kind of a process if you want to get stuff in the back, like your golf clubs or whatever you're going to bring with you. Hopefully this video was helpful for anybody looking at purchasing one of these cars. I will just say right now, there are so many more things about this car that I love compared to the things I don't like. This video is actually very hard to think about 7 things that I did not like about this car, because it is such a fantastic car. I mean, the things that are good about it totally outweigh the things that are bad. But these are some of the things that I ran into that are kind of irritating, little things along the way. And if you're considering buying a 435 or a 335 in that F-Series chassis, hopefully this helps you make your decision. Okay, now this one's just a pet peeve of mine. Bonus round here. This one's just something specific to me that I think's kind of stupid. You may agree or disagree. Most sports cars I've had before had just sport mode, right? You wanted to have the benefits of putting the car in sport mode, you click sport mode. This car has 4 different modes. To my knowledge, nothing changes outside of the traction control being turned off when you go into Sport Plus, but I always feel like I'm losing something or missing something, or I might not have as much full potential power when I'm only in Sport mode. So I always go into Sport Plus if I'm gonna try to drive the car harder. Why are there 2 different modes? I mean, literally, right above the Sport mode is the traction control button. If I wanted to turn off the traction control, I'd just push this button. Why is there 2 sport buttons? I want to make sure I'm getting the full potential. I don't know. I don't want to have to be in sport and go, man, Sport Plus must have something better. I mean, Sport Plus. What's the plus? Plus this button? Plus, as in Sport Plus, you don't have to push the button. It's just one thing that's kind of irritating to me. It's like, come on, Sport. Just put it in Sport. Why is Sport Plus? I mean, come on, just one button. Sport mode. Give me everything that Sport mode's gonna offer. Don't have to justify if I need to go to Sport or Sport Plus. If you made it this far in the video, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will have those install videos coming soon. If you want to follow along with that, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace.